Hello and welcome to the stream. I am Tarnum J and I am here with the series Chess for Novices. People who may have been here before might notice things look a little different. I had some technical issues. I had to go back to an old laptop. I hope things are still going out okay, and for the rest it's just same old me, same old thing. Chess for Novices. What does it mean? It basically means it's aimed at people who are pretty new to the game, like people who just learned the moves up to, say, 1,000 roughly rating. This is already the fourth lecture. I've done opening principles and 2 lectures on tactics before. I am Tarnum, by the way. Yeah, I just said that. I'm from the Netherlands. I've been playing chess for about 25 years. And you see on that side of me my student who is helping me to not go too fast, maybe. Slow me down sometimes. Please, Peter, introduce yourself.
Well, hi, my name is Peter. Here for the third week, as Tarnum said. Trying to learn some chess. This is the fourth week again. Time's flying. Trying to learn some chess. Been playing chess for about a year, semi-actively now, but never really improved. Just played a lot of puzzles and. Well, now trying to learn some more, tactics and I know how the pieces move, but that's about it, and that's why I'm here for the lessons.
All right. So let's get underway then. In my streaming, I often play lower-rated players, and every now and then they get out of the opening fine, they get out of the middle game fine, they end the end game, or they enter the end game being better or equalish, and then they get crushed. Why is that? Is that because I'm such an end game genius? No. It is because the end game really requires a different way of thinking than the rest of the chess game. I mean, in the openings, if you know what to do, you're often fine. And in the middle games, you can often survive looking ahead one move, like, ooh, what can I threaten? What's my opponent threatening? If you just you can basically go one move and one move and one move. That doesn't work in the end game. In the end game, you really have to have a plan, have to have something you're working towards to win or draw if that's the best case scenario. Something that also makes end games difficult is you're usually not going to have a whole lot of time left on the clock once you get to an end game. So trying to figure stuff out over the board in an end game, that's really difficult because of that time constraint. So if you know your stuff, you can make moves almost automatically, and that's really useful given that it's usually the time constraint. And one final reason is lower-rated players often don't have that much experience with end games, or at least with equal positions in end games, equalish, because usually one player loses a piece, or something happens that makes the end game not very difficult. for the person who is ahead. Now you might just say, given what I just said, hey, if lower rated players don't have those endgames all that often, it's also not important. I would disagree there, because in the end game, that's really where the big decisions happen, where the big results happen. Like in end game, one move could make a winning position into a draw, or a drawn position into a loss. Whereas, I mean, if you lose a piece, that's not good, obviously, but you might still win or lose. You might lose if you win a piece. So that's basically my introduction toward endgames. Things clear so far? Oh, I just noticed that Goat and Question are here. Welcome to the stream, guys.
Hey, guys.
So, Peter, any questions about the intro or?
No, let's begin.
All right. Now, well, let's start by. I just spoke about equalist positions, and then I'm talking about the position you see on the board, which isn't really equalish. It's about mating with the queen. It's not difficult, but again, it's something with time constraint. It's really useful to know how to quickly do it, and it's also very often gonna be a mate with the queen, because in the end game you're often gonna get a pawn to the other side if you're the winning person. So as you can see, I've drawn 2 arrows, because basically with the queen you are imprisoning the opponent's king. The green arrows, they form a little square where the king can never escape from that prison as long as the queen stays on e4. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so we have the king in a prison. The next thing to do is to make that prison smaller. The king can, of course, never be right next to the queen, so you can always either go here or go there, which makes the prison more rectangular. Let's make the colors a bit nicer. So the green arrows show the current prison, and if you move the queen up or down, that would be the new prison size, which is actually smaller than what it is now. And because the king is easily move arrows, no, not really. Because the king is over here and not over here, it's probably easiest to move the queen up. So go to f5. Now, black has a couple of legal moves. Like if he, for instance, goes to c6, it's easy to make the prison smaller by getting our king to e5, queen to e5. If he goes to c7, again, this makes the prison smaller. The most logical move would be to go to e7, which, I mean, with the other moves, we made the prison smaller in all directions, or at least not larger. Here we're gonna have to make the prison more rectangular once more. So from the previous prison, now this prison.
Mm-hmm.
if black goes to the back rank now, you can again decrease the prison size, and now black has only one legal move. And now what do we do, Peter?
You moved the king up. Nah, you were trying to trick me.
Yes, excellent. That is the one thing you always have to be careful of in these kind of end games, stalemate. So if you move the queen here, this king isn't under attack and it has no legal moves. All those squares are guarded by the queen. And when the king isn't under attack and there are no legal moves, it's called stalemate, and that means it's a draw. So don't move the queen over there. Now it's time to, as Peter said, move the king up. Black one legal move, king up. It's black's turn. How many mates does white have?
I think 1, 2, 3.
That's what I'm seeing as well. So yeah. When these kings, when you've used your king to track the black king in some more, you can then move the queen here, which is often what you're going to see. The queen defended by the king. This is made, or you can get the queen to the back rank, either here or here.
Yep.
So yeah, again, it's not difficult to mate with the queen, but you sometimes have to be able to do it in a couple of seconds. For instance, yesterday I had the game. It was an hour on each side, but I won the game with 14 seconds on the clock, where it was good that I knew how to do the mates quickly. All right, next up we're gonna mate with king and rook. And before I show you how to do it, I would like you to try and find... I noticed that the board is wrong. I will try to fix that. But meanwhile, Peter, your task is to find a position where there is a mate here. So tell me, there are 3 pieces on the board. Tell me what squares they should go to make it a mate.
Say again, I didn't really hear that right.
All right. I want you to find a mate. Like you can move the 3 pieces. You can move them anywhere. To find a position where the black king is mated.
I need to find the
So,
on what square the black king will be mated, you mean?
Yeah, just tell me, hey, I want the black king on c7, for instance, and the white rook on h4. Just give me, if you can, coordinates for all 3 pieces to get a position where there's mate on the board.
Maybe it's my audio, but I really can't hear exactly what you're saying. I'm sorry about that.
Okay. I will type in chat.
Yeah. All right. I see. Goat already typed it.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So let's say if the white king is on b6, the black king on b8, and then the white rook on d8 until h8.
All right. So good job. Kind of get the impression that you already knew this then, or you're really fast. Either way is good.
Am I going too fast?
No, I was giving a compliment. Like,
Oh.
I was asking, did you already know how to do this, or did you figure it out really fast?
No, I didn't know how to do this. But if you look well, what I'm envisioning is that all the squares around the king are also attacked. So the opposite the king of the opposition can't move in those squares. So if you put a rook on the right file or rank, I should say, then it's mate.
Yes, that's completely correct. So let's go to the editor once more. So this is, for instance, a mate. However, if we moved everything up one rank, this is forcing the black king to go to the back rank now. Because it's like the mate, except black has an 8th rank it can hide to for the moment. So what we're going to do in this with the king, with king and rook versus king, is we're going to get those two kings opposite each other. It's actually called opposition, and just slowly pushing the black king back. Or let's say for the moment we're gonna push it to this side. I'm gonna make the black king over there. So a first move we could make, if that's what we know to do, is get the king to c4 in this scenario. We kind of, just like with the queen, we made a prison, except well, with the queen we like made it a box. Here we're really giving him just all the A, B, C, and D squares. I mean, technically this is also part of the prison right now, but the rook is gonna be moving. So black here has a couple of moves. If the black king goes to the C file, that's okay with us, because then we're gonna get the rook to the D file and decrease the size of the prison. If the black king says it goes here, where it is indeed opposite the king, and you use that term. It is the correct term, but I wanna clarify it a little bit more. So these kings are there's one square between them, and that means that both kings now have very little squares. That they have both have 3 squares where they can't go to, and this is called opposition. And it is said that the person who moved into the opposition, that person has the advantage, because it's the other person who has to make a move to with the king when the king has less options. So if the black king moves to d4, what do we do?
Move the rook to d2.
Indeed. So this, how do we proceed now?
King to e5.
Into e5. That's I think not optimal, but it's a pretty good move. I hadn't actually explained how to do the mate yet, so I can't.
Okay.
Me, but okay. Let's say king goes to c4.
Move the rook all the way up to d8?
Excellent stuff.
Really?
Stuff. Yes. It might be tempting to say, hey, we're gonna get this king to e4, so that next move we maybe can make the prison smaller once more. But I mean, he just goes back, and we're not getting any closer. We're not making gains here. We're just moving back and forth. But indeed, you are correct. Just make use of the fact that the rook is a long-range piece. Let's get the rook all the way out of the way on d8, where it's still guarding the d file.
Yeah, because if the black king now keeps going to like c3, c2, you still play for the opposition, and eventually it will be opposition, and then you can move the rook over, right?
Excellent.
Nice.
So yeah, if he indeed goes down, we chase it. He goes down some more. We chase it again. He goes down some more. I mean, technically, or the quickest way to mate now would probably be getting the rook over here. Say, haha, I said we were going to mate you on the A file, but we're going to actually mate you on the first rank.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that is the fastest. But if we're going to do it in a more according to our structure, where we said, hey, we're going to mate the black king somewhere over here, then we indeed move this the king to e2 now, and now black can either already step back or go into the opposition, and then we
move the rook to c8.
Indeed. So
yeah, now we keep going for the opposition, right?
Yeah. So you're saying king to d3? Is that what you're saying for the opposition, or?
Yeah, or am I missing something here?
Well, yeah, but once again, the black king steps out of the opposition.
Let's see. What if the rook goes to? I'm looking at either c4 or c3. I think one of those should be pretty good because it's protected by the king.
Why not c1? I mean, I agree that your move would also work, but
I was thinking if you go to c3, you give the black king a lot less options.
Yeah, I agree that black has less options, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's good for us, or that it's better than if he doesn't have many options. Like, for instance, if we go to c3, we black might go to b5. And then
yeah, and then you move the rook to c4.
Okay.
And now you can move the king in, I think, from behind the rook, so via c3.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter, I think.
Okay, yeah. I'm sure what you're saying works. I mean, everything works, but if we're going to go with our idea of having the idea we had before, rook c1 is, I think, is better because once again, if the black king goes back, we push him to the a file. If the black king goes forward, we
move the king up and up and up and up.
By the way, Goat, I think, mentioned a very difficult word, zugzwang, which is another important thing in many endgames. Zugzwang, it's German. It literally means forced move. Yes, zugzwang in Dutch. In this position, if black could say, you know what, I'm just going to skip a move, that would be better for black. Because if black could skip a move, we can't mate the black king. Because in this position, if black says, no, I'm going to skip a turn, like we can't force him to the back rank at the moment, because he can just escape to c6. And if white would push the king up after the skip turn, the black king would just go back, and you couldn't make any progress if black was allowed to skip. But fortunately, for white, in chess you're not allowed to skip, and so that's the idea behind zugzwang, forced move.
All right.
I'm sure we'll see some more of that in the future. So we chase the black king. You know what? I'm gonna quickly do something else for a moment. And just ignore this. This is just setting up. All right. It's white's move now. What would you do if you were white in this position?
If I was white in this position, and then we are still talking about mating on the a file, right?
Right.
If you do. If you go for opposition, then it's just the same story. You just keep walking up and down the board. So let's see. If it's rook to b1, then the white king will go to c8, I think.
Black king.
Sorry, the black king. Yeah. So if b1 with the white rook, the black king will go to c8, and that's not what we want.
Nope.
I think.
Again, this is kind of like sort of like the zugzwang with what we discussed earlier with black. White is like, if I could just skip a move, that would be good now. However, white has the luxury that black doesn't have, that white can just make a nothing move here. For instance, rook to c2. It does.
Ah.
It does nothing but say, "Hey, black, it's your turn once more."
Ah. So we can zugzwang ourselves, kinda.
Kinda, yeah. Just we have the luxury of the nothing move.
Yeah. And now, haha. Yeah. And now it's b2
Indeed.
with the rook. Yeah. And now the king to c6.
Yeah, c6 or c7.
Go a few moves with opposition. It does. I don't think it really does. It really matter if we go to b8 right now or go for opposition?
Well, if we go for opposition, we don't. I mean, we don't lose, but we don't make progress if we go for opposition now. I mean, go for opposition.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, we could do it, but we're not making progress. But I like the other move you suggested, rook to b8.
Yeah, because now I get it now, because the black king is trying to attack the rook, kinda.
Yes.
And now if the king stands in between the rook and the black king, then you can mate when it's opposition.
Yes.
And now you can chase the king down. It clicked.
Yeah, we get the rook to safety. And welcome to the stream, Advanced. Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, we move up. Let's say black goes here, move up. There, 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 there. Final move.
That's rook to a8.
Indeed.
Hey.
That's how you. Yeah, like I said, this isn't the fastest way. I mean, it would have been faster when the king went to what was it? Way up. Here, when the king went over here to just say, "Haha, we've got you now." But
yeah.
The way we just did it, if you try it a couple of times, yeah, maybe set it up against an engine sometimes, because humans often don't really want to play this, because that's not really that entertaining if you're the person getting mated. But both the queen mate and the rook mate try it with the engine sometimes. Maybe let's quickly show you how to do it. I've set it up. So if you go to board editor, you can say clear board, and you set up the pieces like this. You can say continue from here. Play with the computer, and then you can decide what strength you want the computer to be. In these scenarios, I'd say just make the computer the highest strength you can get, and give yourself the white pieces. And now it's you're playing the computer, seeing if you can mate them. This is of course pretty easy. Like I said, reduce the prison size. Don't stalemate.
Computer was thinking of resigning, I think.
Yeah, probably. And how many mates are there now?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, that's also what I'm counting. There, and there. So, yeah.
Hey.
I would advise people to do both this queen mate and a rook mate a couple of times against the computer, so that you can. No, that's not what I wanted to do. So that you can really get fast at it, because I think I'm repeating myself too often, but you often don't have much time. Especially like if you have a queen and your opponent doesn't resign, maybe because the opponent thinks to have a good chance of running out of time. All right. Now there are, of course, other mates with few pieces. For instance, I could show how to mate with the king and 2 bishops against the king, but I don't think it's really useful, because it's gonna be very, very rare that you have such a big material advantage, but are unable to get at least one pawn promoted into a queen. Even the mate with the rook, it's probably not going to happen that often. However, I also liked it because it showed two concepts. It was that zugzwang, having to make a move when you would rather skip, and also the opposition of the kings. That's kind of why I wanted to show at least mate with the rook. And yeah, those people that mate with 2 bishops or bishop and knight, that just some assholes showing off. It's I would never do something like that.
I sense a bit of sarcasm right here.
All right. Now we did the mate with few pieces. Now we are gonna do king and pawn versus king. Might technically be the simplest position there is. I mean, there's only the 2 kings you always have on the board, and 1 pawn, which is the piece that has the least amount of moves. Yet there is still a lot to be learned from these positions. So I'd say it's black's turn to move. Is this a win for white, or is this a draw?
If it's black to move, I think it's a draw.
Yeah, you think the black...
If it's black to move, yeah, because you go to f8 and then e8 and I think you can catch the pawn in time. Wait, can you? I need to visualize this in my head.
Yes. Okay, so what you already...
No, the pawn is 1 square faster.
Okay, this is a draw.
This is a draw.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say it took you some time to figure it out. And even though the moves at this point, they are pretty automatic. Like, I mean, you're gonna get that black king towards the pawn. White king isn't in time to save it, so white will automatically advance. Let's say this way.
Yeah.
So,
And yeah.
once you reach this position, you are gonna find the solution really fast. However, you also have to know at some point, do I want to get into this position if I'm black? Is this position a draw or a loss for me? And yeah, to know that, again, you probably don't have the time, but we do have one neat little trick. It's called the square rule. You can make a square from where that pawn is, and if black in his turn can get inside that square, the black king is on time. And if the black king can't, then the king is too late. So here you can see the black king can just manage to get into it, and therefore it is just in time. I mean, should black like wait a move? For instance, here the white pawn moves up. Now this is the square, and now the black king can't get into the square, so it would be too late. So we can try it out. You see now black is one move too late.
Yep.
Of course, this is with the pawn on the. This is a so-called rook pawn. Those pawns on the edge are also called the rook pawns because the rook starts on the A and H file. But if it's not a rook pawn, let's change the situation a little bit. Hey, there's a follow by. Hang on. I don't know what happened. Sorry. I'm working on a not my main computer, but whoever you are, thanks for following. I hope to be able to figure out who you are. It was Seno Volkertsma. Yeah, thanks a lot. Usually things are slightly better. I'm sure that every streamer promises that, but no, analyze. So let's flip the board. So because this pawn is now not a rook pawn, there are essentially two squares, one square like this. Oh, arrow went too far. And one square like this. And so, yeah, at the moment, the black king can just reach this square. So again, the black king is on time here. One thing to, of course, keep in mind with the square rule is that it doesn't work the same way when the pawn is on the beginning position, because then the pawn can move two squares at once. So, I mean, you might say, "Oh, look, this square, the black king can get in it on its move, on its turn. White goes there, and now the black king can't enter the square anymore." So the square is a very good tool to quickly see if the king is in time or not. But that's the one little thing you have to look out for. So, I've got to ask if there were any questions, both from Peter and the chat. I mean, I hope if I'm completely unclear that you will speak up, but
yeah. This is really understandable. I think I'm learning pretty fast, to be honest.
good. So we go back to the study. All right. White to play and blunder.
All right, so now I have to look for a blunder from white.
Yes. Well, I mean, a move that might look it might look reasonable, but it actually means that white is winning in this position, but white has a move here. Makes sense when you first look at it, but it's completely throwing away the advantage. Advanced knows. I think Goat probably knows.
Yeah, I think I figured it out too.
Okay.
Yeah, if you move the pawn to c7 with check,
Yes.
and the king goes to c8, it's stalemate. Well, it's not stalemate now, but the king has to make a move, and then it's stalemate.
Well, either stalemate or white loses the
or just a draw, yeah, because king versus king.
Yeah, Peter is completely correct. So if you move the white king here, because the white is attacking all the squares, but not the king itself. This is stalemate, and if white makes any other move, then black can just win the pawn. So that's excellent work. Of course, the easiest way for white to win here is to get the king to b7. That's a very good square, because you are protecting the pawn on its final 3 squares before it promotes. So here, here black is just completely lost. There's no way for black to prevent c7 and followed by c8.
Yep.
So now we're gonna start a little bit further down the line. So here we have, like I said, the 2 kings and the pawn. The important thing here is pawns always move up. I'm always orienting the board that pawns always move up. It is it's vital that the king remains in front of the pawn. I'm pretty sure if white moves the pawn up here, it's already a draw, but at the moment it would be a win on white's move. So let's quickly check. I think this is a draw. Yeah, this is a draw already. So what should white do?
Go for opposition?
Say no. I don't know. I don't think I know what the T is, so I'm not gonna teach it to Peter. But not to not this lecture at the very least. But Peter, you were saying, you sounded very, very correct in what you were saying.
I was saying go for opposition, because then the king has to move out of the black king has to move out of the way.
Indeed. Let's say the king goes here.
Then go with the king to e5.
Okay. Indeed. Let's say king to d7.
You can move the pawn up one square right now, and then you can do the whole thing over and over again.
I think, is that a draw? Yeah, that's already a draw. We don't win here.
Okay, then go.
Then don't
then
do
go
that.
Back.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Then don't do that. Don't move the pawn up. I will talk about why in a moment. But
that's a draw. Then go to d5.
Indeed, once again, capturing, taking the opposition.
And well, it was working the last time, so now maybe to e6.
Okay. Here's the thing. I personally wouldn't have been thinking in this position to move the pawn up because the king was in front of it. Here it's something that I might consider moving the pawn up. However, it doesn't. You shouldn't. You shouldn't move the pawn up. Reason is now it's black who takes the opposition. And so white has to move out of the way. Let's say to e5. Black again takes the opposition. And yeah, if white is just gonna sidestep with the king, black's also gonna sidestep with the king, and you make no progress that way. So we could check, do we make progress if we go to d5? And unfortunately we don't, because king goes back here.
And if now everywhere you move the king, well, if you move the king to e6, the black king will go to d6, I think, and it's
e6 is here.
Oh, so sorry, f6.
F6. Yeah, f6. That's of course not the greatest move.
Yeah, and if you go to like d4, then still
Yeah, it's. I mean, this isn't really mess up. No, I don't think I messed up. Yeah, you're not really making much progress here. Again, you could try moving this pawn up. But black has to be careful now. I think d8. Yeah, d8. So that if white moves his king up, you just step in front of it. And if white moves the pawn up now, we get this sort of the same position as we looked at before this one, where here white either stalemates black, or white has to step away from the pawn. Is that clear? Or
sorry?
I said in this position, white either stalemates or steps away from the pawn, just like we saw earlier. So, I mean, it is more difficult to see when it's. I think it's more difficult to see when it's further away from the promotion square. But even in this scenario, this is already. Of course, black still has to play accurate here, but if black plays accurate, the winning chances are gone. But as you said earlier, as you suggested, King E6 is indeed the correct answer. Now black can, for instance, go to D8. And now, among other things, King D6 does work, I'm pretty sure. Yes, because now black has 2 legal moves. And here, now you can move the pawn up because the pawn is 2 squares behind the king. So where in the earlier position, we moved the pawn 1 square up and black got into the opposition. Now if we do the same thing, white can move the pawn up a 2nd square. And therefore, now white is the one having taken the opposition once more. And so now black again has 2 legal moves. Doesn't really matter because white goes the other way and up. And the white pawn is now protected the rest of the way, and this is unstoppable.
All right.
I mean, this is a lot to take in. I know, but
but I can always look up the study on your Lichess account, right?
It is private, but well, yeah, I could share it. But let's take this one from the top once more. What do we do here with white, Peter? I'm just gonna let you make all the white moves.
All right. So we don't want opposition.
Don't we?
Don't. Oh yeah. Oh no, it's opposition and then move sideways. So King D4, and then let's see, King C5.
Alrighty. Oh, it's my move.
King B6.
I'm not too sure about that.
All right. No, you're right. King D5.
D5. Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. King E6.
E6. Seems good to me. Let's say.
Let's see. King D6. And now move the pawn to D4. And now to D5. And now it's king to E7. And now we go for promotion.
Okay. Also, once more review the first part of the game. Let's finish this off. Or the first part of the lecture, I mean.
Yeah. Let's see. What's the quickest way? Let's see. Well, just push the king into a corner. So, queen d6.
Right.
Let's make it. How do we make it smaller? Queen d4.
Yeah, that is an option indeed. Then it is a good option because if you go queen d4, this becomes the prison cell. And why is that a good option? Because then the white king is already closer, so you have to spend less time to run the king over. I would personally suggest, though, going with queen c7.
All right.
If we're gonna, because we have to make the cell tall and narrow, or wide and short. And so this is the cell at the moment. And if we make it tall and narrow, like this, we are decreasing its size. Say I go here.
Queen c6. Queen b7. What's fastest? King d6.
Yes, you kind of have the choice now if you're indeed gonna make this cell smaller one step at a time, or you could indeed just run the king over now.
Yeah.
Let's just disappear to do this. So.
King c5. King c4.
There is a slightly better move here, I would say.
A queen b4.
Queen to b4, and that's mate.
Oh, that's a little bit better. Yeah.
No, you saw nothing, goat. You saw no such arrows. Okay, I mean, I suppose fine. I'll admit it. When I said make it smaller a little bit, I drew the arrows up until here, and of course, you shouldn't do it up until here because then we have the stalemate in the corner. I think that's about it for today. So I don't know if there are any specific questions or general questions, I suppose.
Not on my end.
Right, I'm so looking at chat for a little bit. I mean, normally I would stream after the lecture, but because of the technical issues, today the end of the lecture is also the end of the stream. So how do we hold as black? We don't goat. That's kind of the whole idea that it's forced. Everything is forced right from the start here. This is if I turn the engine on. Oh, you guys can't see the engine. Engine calls this mate in 20, but only with king d4, and pawn to d4 is just a draw. It's forced this far out. Storm with the gifts up. That's awesome, mate. Can any pawns plus king win against king if pawn is on a5 or h5? That is a good question. And we are going to talk about that next week. What the situation is in case of the so-called rook pawns. Like I said, because the rooks start on the A and H files, the pawns on there are sometimes called rook pawns or edge pawns or whatever. All right, I sort of feel bad about ending the stream just after Storm has gifted a sub. Goat has some emotes. So I don't know. Storm, if you want to play a game, I'll play a game. Otherwise, I'm gonna end the stream. So
Me, you mean?
hmm?
What? Sorry, I didn't hear that exactly.
Oh,
Were you talking to me?
No, not really.
Oh.
No more chess songs?
No more chess songs. Nope. All right. Yeah. Okay. I guess look at Storm's reaction. He doesn't really wanna play a game. So that's it from me. I already gave kind of a teaser that next week we are gonna be talking about, among other things, what happens when we face rook pawns. Hopefully, the technology will be better by then. Now, Peter, do you have any final remarks?
Bye.
That's a short final remark, and I hope to see you guys again next week. I didn't even check who we were going to raid. Well, I'll end the stream now, raid later, hopefully. See you. Bye.
You.